Welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all, and of course, welcome back to another Recovery RP. Now, you might be wondering, why are you looking at the 6.4 Powerstroke that we recovered and built in the previous episode instead of the Duramax that we had for a while? Well, to put it simply, when we finished this build and the owner came to pick it up, they looked at that Duramax welding truck that we had, and they were like, you know, I'm down to trade if you are, and I was like totally down for it, because after building this thing, I was like, I would love to have it, but I have to give it back. And they were like, well, how about if I take this truck and you keep this truck? And I said, deal. So now, it's a part of our recovery fleet, officially. So, our task today is a little bit different than what we usually have to do, because apparently some idiots sank their four-wheelers in a nearby creek, and one of them is so flooded with water that it won't even start, and we have to go and recover these, and then also apparently deliver a message that they shouldn't have been where they were in the first place. So, before we do any of that, we need to get these four-wheelers out of the drink. Alright, we got our off-road trailer ready to go. Got Beans chilling out up there on the dash. Let's head on out. This thing sounds so good. And one of the other things that I really love about the setup on this thing is that the suspension can be tuned to basically like, so imagine you went for the flex setup, right? Imagine you went for the flex setup on the suspension. The flex setup is also your bumper pull trailer setup. So you could pull like a bumper pull trailer with weight on it and still retain your flex setup on both the front and rear end of the truck. Look at this. This is on a setup that has towing capacity. That flex is insane. Now, just to go ahead and clear this up right out of the gate here, this truck is PC only, obviously by the badges and stuff like that, and if you want more info on this particular truck, you can check out Yabuddy's Discord, which I will have linked in the description box down below. Now, the map that I am on is Jensen Trails, and it's currently a work-in-progress map by Dubs, and once it is available, I will, of course, be linking to it, but I can't link to it until it is finished, as it is currently in the work-in-progress stage. And I'll also have links to the mod.io pages of the four-wheelers that I'm going to be recovering in the description box down below. Now, we should be getting somewhat close to where those four-wheelers are. I think they're... Oh, there's one of them. There's one of them. All right, so let's actually go ahead and cross the river here so we have a little bit of a better approach from the other side. Oh, come on. Little bit of like, wow, we're actually properly sinking in that mud. Come on, let's go. Let's not spend too much time sinking the dang truck. All right, getting out on the main road for just a split second. All right, coming up to an off-road use only area, and you can see in there that the handlebars of one of the four-wheelers is just barely poking above the water. So yeah, this is definitely going to be quite the recovery. So I think what we'll do is first thing we got to do is get them out of there. So we'll go ahead and detach the trailer. We'll leave it right there. And then now we're going to creep into the water. All right, so this will be interesting. Now, before we go any further, though, we got to get a photo for the Recoveries album. You know why? Because we're going to be thinking about this when someone's like, can you recover my four-wheeler? And we're going to be like, oh, remember those people that sunk their four-wheelers in the local creek? Yeah, I remember those. We pulled them out. All right, ease it on in. Our hood line is still above the water, so we're not in that much trouble. All right, so let's go ahead and winch to the front of that four-wheeler. And let's carefully pull it back. Ease it on out. It's probably so badly damaged, dude. Like, I don't even want to know how badly damaged that is, because it was fully submerged. All right, so that's the first one. So we'll leave you right there. And then now we're going to go grab the second four-wheeler. Now, the second four-wheeler looks like it was a little bit better set up. It's got snorkels. It's chilling above the water. It's not like it's, you know, completely in the drink, but it's still kind of, not in the best, you know, scenario. All right, you're going to come with me. Make sure we have that brake on and ease it out. Try not to bang these things up. You know, I'm trying to keep them in somewhat of a state to where They only need a little bit of refreshing to, like, the engines, but no, like, cosmetic repair. So we've got them both out of the water. Oh my god, I would have taken my mirror off. Okay, let's not take my mirror off. Let me get this whole setup turned around. Now we're gonna have to, now we're gonna have to get the trailer into a spot where we can winch these up onto the trailer. Weird scenario as well, because I didn't think to back in here initially, which I really should have done in hindsight now that I think about it, but you know what? We'll remember that for next time. And actually, it's not that big of a deal, because we can just back it out onto the main road, we'll pull forward a little bit, and then we'll swing the trailer around and back it on in. So, not that big of a deal or an issue. So, go ahead and get everything off. There we go, not bad. And go ahead and start to unwind the truck. Oh, we unwound it too late. Dang it, we did that wrong. That's all good, though. We only had to unwind it one time. All right, now we're gonna push those around a little bit and then get them winched up onto the trailer. And then once that's done, we'll head on back to the garage area. All right, everything looks good. We got them all loaded up. So now let's head on back to the garage area. We'll drop these things off and we'll see if anybody comes and gets them. And if nobody comes and gets them, I want first dibs because I'm taking these home if nobody comes to get them. Alrighty, let's see if we can ease them on out of there without the trailer getting too bound up. There we go, not bad. And easing the whole setup out onto the main road. It actually, not only does it look really, really good, but this truck is doing an awesome job of supporting the weight. I know they're not super heavy, but keep in mind, once again, the flex that this setup has. I mean, it just goes to show how much time Yeah Buddy has put into the tuning of this truck's suspension, because y'all will see a little bit later on in the video, this truck has so much flex. It's like, it's got crawler flex, and yet it's not squatting basically at all with two four-wheelers on the trailer behind it. It's absolutely tremendously capable. It really is. So let's get ourselves right on down the 4-lane, and we would go ahead and... Now is the part where we would put our turn signal on if we had one, and we would cruise on over to the garage. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to let both of these four-wheelers kind of chill out right here, and we'll let them chill on the trailer. It's not going to be a big deal. And once they're chilling out on the trailer, we'll come back a little bit later and see, like, if whoever wants to, if whoever owns them wants to have them fixed or just wants to take them back, then we'll probably just let them borrow the trailer. We'll just make sure to follow them, keep an eye on them so they don't, you know, steal our trailer. And now that we've got those recovered to the garage, we actually have a little bit of free time, which means we get to do a little bit of wheeling in this thing. And I've been wanting to do some wheeling in this thing for a while now, because watch this. This isn't even a trail, but like, this thing is just nuts. Keep in mind, this is a dually doing this. It's ridiculous. It's wild. The capability, the flex, it's like you get, you get fully built, Jeep levels of flex out of this F450 on like 40 some odd inch tires. It's so gnarly. And this thing, keep in mind, it's also a dually, so there's a lot of just like sheer mass and size that this thing has to work around as well. Can we go up the creek? I mean, I guess we could. I've never been that way, actually. I've never even tried to go up this creek. I always go down this creek whenever I'm wheeling. So, like, oh, see, there you go. That's the flex I'm talking about right there. That's nuts. It's basically completely tucking that tire, and it could flex even more than that if we got it fully twisted up. Look at the rear flex. I mean, is it like super unrealistic? No, but is it like still absolutely insanely capable? Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure there's gonna be somebody out there that's gonna say, oh, that's not realistic, no dually would ever flex like that. And I'm like, you put this suspension on a dually, I guarantee you it'll flex like that. You just don't see people building dualies into trucks like this most of the time, because that's not necessarily the direct intended purpose of a dually. But at the same time, if you want to see some dualies like out wheeling in places like Moab, go look up full-size Invasion. There absolutely are you know, quad cab dually trucks that go out and wheel on rocks. And it's gnarly to watch. It really is. Let me back up a little bit. We'll head over this way. Now, this map isn't super insane in terms of trail difficulty. If we really wanted to challenge this thing, we would have to go somewhere like, you know, TNB Trails or Desert Proving Grounds, a place like that. Not to say this map is not good. Like, the trails on this map are amazing. They're absolutely incredible. And some of the trickier trails are a little bit further out, kind of past the swamp areas. But again, if you're looking for areas that are really well representative of realistic off-roading scenarios, the trails that are near town are absolutely going to give you that. And you can even make your own little mini obstacles like this right here. This is not like an intended trail route, but I'm just trying to flip it at this point to see if I can find the limit. And I think before doing that very stealthy winch catch, yep, that's the limit. It's not completely over, but we definitely found the limit of how far it's willing to lean. Because normally a vehicle like this would have flipped over long before that point, but this thing definitely does an amazing job of keeping itself upright, for sure. Now, let me get... Oh, God. Let me make my way a little bit further on down this trail. Easy. You can just absolutely bash through obstacles if you want, but, I mean, if you just slow down the pace a tiny bit, all that realism... That realism factor comes right back in, and the realism, like, gets turned right back up again. So you can really drive it however you would like. And I mean, you just got to make sure that you set yourself up on obstacles in ways that would be conducive to a wheelbase that's this long. Because keep in mind, it's like, you know, it's like 4 doors and a long bed. So you're dealing with a long vehicle. Like, make no mistake about that. But look at that. I mean... that right there, you see how much it took to get a rear tire to even start lifting off the ground. Insane. Absolutely insane. What about this one? Because this is just basically a sheer rock face. All right, I bumped it with the bumper. I'm trying to, like, avoid doing that. We're going to have to come at it at a little bit of an angle. But this is like, you know, this is like top-level insanity now. Because I'm trying to just get it to climb directly up a rock face. And it may not do it. It may refuse, but... or not. And even if it does refuse to do that, like, it makes sense as to why it's refusing to do that. Like, this is not even anything practical that I'm asking out of it at this point. This thing is just, I mean, like I said, I'm not asking anything practical out of it. I'm just, you know... I'm just pointing it at things and being like, go over here now. I think we might have beached it. Oh, no, it's trying. We're going to give it a little bit of a winch pull. But, like, look what we did with it. Like, I mean, we basically did completely beach it. And all we needed was a little bit of winch pulling to keep going. So, I know that our recovery wasn't super long, but I'm definitely glad we had a little bit of free time to take this thing for some wheeling. But if you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed a little bit more of an in-depth look at this truck, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you guys next time. Talk to you all later.